talks and meditation. We are back. We are back. It's been a long time, but we're back. And it's so good to see Acyuta Gopi. I'm just adding her to the session right now. Let's get you on. Here we go. Is she coming on? Okay, it's connected. Oh, there she is. She's on now. Excellent. How are you?
I'm well. Doing really well.
It's been such a long time. I was just thinking, sometimes in this COVID times, even like 3-4 weeks feels like it's like 6-7 months, right?
Yeah.
Have you been feeling like that?
It feels like it's been, but it has been at least like 2 months or something like that. So it's been a really long time. In COVID time, that's like 3 years.
Oh man, and I one thing I want to say, I will give a shout out to everyone joining. Thank you so much, Varun. You came on. We've got Tulsi, Maharani, Harry S, Illuminati, Dread, Sish. You're on. We got Abe and we got Mansi and some others joining because they're coming on all at the same time. Gopi, you're on. Illuminati. Yes, Prabhuji. Good to see. Hey, Sanj Gohil. He's our man. He's the man that's looking after the cows so nicely at Bhaktivedanta Manor. Mana Goshala. Check out the website. He's a really nice guy. Radhanath. Your name's lovely, Radhanath, by the way. Dia, and we got Mahaboho. Okay, mate, this is wicked. We got loads of people on today. Hey, so thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, Rajni. A power of prayer session, and we are back. And it's so good to have so many of you joining from the different platforms. We have about 200 or something joining right now. So, we wanted to have a talk with all of you. We've been away for a bit of time. Well, when we're talking, Acyuta's always on. She's doing her thing. Hey, Sonam, thanks a lot. And Iskon Juhu and Vrindavan Mayapur. My God, I've never heard of all 3 places in one place. Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, we've got like confluence of all holy doms happening.
I never thought that's such a great genius idea to do that, to bring everyone together. So I was just saying is we've been off because there's so much going on. But we're back, and Power Prayer is our focal point. And these sessions are here to help. We want to share our realizations, but at the same time, we want to hear from you and how we can together elevate our consciousness. So please, everyone, Facebook, Instagram. I'm loving my Instagram family right now. I'm loving that number. I want to just say, please do share what you are, you're doing, and thank you. I'm glad you like my background, Varun. It is Krishna, and etc. So first of all, I must start. How is things going in NYC? How's things in America right now? You've had a lot of changes, haven't you, going on there?
Yeah. I feel like we went through a lot in America. But it's going. It really emphasizes that we have to cling to our faith and we have to cling to prayer, because those are the things that are going to endure despite any and all external changes. That's the only way that we are going to maintain any semblance of sanity despite any changes, political, material, health-wise, anything. So it's been a lesson in how to try and stay determined to pray through whatever comes. And I think, worldwide, it's the biggest lesson there is.
There's one thing that came to mind, and and I'm glad that we're not connected to any type of network, etc. We can be ourselves, and this aspect of good winning over evil, or good winning over bad. My realization was that I saw that the world, how actually Maya can affect us so deeply that we become tyrants. And you had that in America. We had somebody that was raging like a bull all over the place. And, Mr. Trump. And now look, that everyone felt that, you know, to get ahead in life, you have to be this type of person that steps over people. And actually, spiritual life has shown us that actually that's never the way. We should always be sincere and honest and always be truthful. And now the next generation will be seeing that these type of Vedic terminologies, the way we should be, mode of goodness is so important. We should always live in that type of thing. So right now, I feel faith has prevailed in such a mental time, right?
And you know, I had a conversation with my sister and my family so many times that it's like, but okay, what if externally it doesn't happen the way you think it should? You know, that should not mean that, oh, my faith didn't work. You know, it shouldn't be a resultant of the external situations changing. We have to find a way to link our faith in Krishna or our faith in our spirituality to something deeper than just me getting whatever I want. So what happens when it doesn't go our way? You know, we might think that there will be the dawning of a new age of all of these maybe Vedic paradigms. What happens if it's not? You know, can we continue to be spiritually minded people and continue to stick to our characteristics, to stick to our nature and our intrinsic character and morals, despite whatever's going on out there?
But don't you feel? And I like to just hear as well from all our networks here as well, that sometimes faith can be really tested. Like so much, like we've been told and we hear that as we progress in life, things happen for a reason. But sometimes when certain things, like you lose loved ones or your family goes to hospital because of COVID, and you're thinking, why the hell did this happen? You know, divine, why are you doing this? Okay, I'm already connected to you. I'm trying to be connected. What test do you want to put me through? And sometimes faith, a lot of people's faith is getting shaken as well in these type of COVID times. What is your advice? And I would like to also, if you're feeling like that, or you're thinking, where's the divine? Why is this happening? Just put a heart or put a thumbs up, because we want to keep it real. We want to keep this real, and the questions that. So yeah, just on that, is there any type of, I won't say solace, but any type of logic behind how we?
It's a real fear. Really, it is. And like you said, especially during this time where there's a global pandemic, it seems quite senseless, and arbitrary, just random. It's not that there are only bad people being affected. There are good people being affected. There are devotees being affected. There are loads and loads of devotees, people who have been practitioners of Krishna consciousness throughout their lives, that are constantly being affected by this virus. And so now if we're thinking, that's my phone ringing.
It's like, hello.
So there are loads of people who have been good, God-fearing, right? God-loving people. And so it can be easy to think, well, why does this happen to me? But which scripture ever said that, you worship the Supreme Lord, no obstacle will ever, there will be no obstacles, nothing will ever come to you. If we look at the story of Sri Ram, he's God. He's facing obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. So what we see is that's the nature of this place. This entire material nature, there are people oppressing one another. There are people trying to control one another, trying to manipulate, trying to exploit one another. And then there is birth, death, old age, and disease. These things have been happening since time immemorial. We have accounts in Vedic times of kings that have gotten tuberculosis, of pandemics that have broken out, of droughts, of fertility issues, of all kinds of things, right? So it's not that we just see, oh, those were evil people, and then the good people, and then nothing happened to them. If we look at Maharaj Dasrath, there were fertility issues in his family. He couldn't have the child that he needed. He has to go to the divine and pray hard, and his faith gets tested. We look at Janak Maharaj, there's a drought in his entire kingdom. He has to go to the sages and ask for help, plow around and do a yagya and all of these things. And he gets a daughter, but he also cures the drought. So there are all of these things that happen. This is a place where karma is always action and reactioning. There's balancing, and the scales are tipping in one way or the other. The earth is getting rid of, purging herself of all of these burdens, or accepting burdens and holding on to them. So what's our job then? We have to link ourselves to something higher than this material nature, which is always going to have checks and balances, which is always going to have natural disasters that are going to arise. We hear biblical plagues. These are things that have been affecting people for thousands, millions of years. It's in all scriptures across all boards of spirituality. So there will be obstacles. How do we deal? How do we center and focus ourselves with that anchor and that determination that, okay, no matter what the reversal, I am not alone.
That's the thing. That's the point. You know, one thing though, Kushi mentions here, it was all supposed to be in this world. We might be close with our family, but everyone is dealing with their own karma calculation. She's putting, because of what's happening. I'm just looking at some others here. I remember to say thank you for all the divine is giving me. I believe this is where our faith matters most. How can I serve? That is Renoop. Thank you. And it says, we can't answer the question, although it feels natural to ask. Yes, it does, isn't it? That's a good point, actually. And I think that's what makes us spiritual beings in a way. We have this autonomy of, who am I? Why am I here? Why is this happening? That's what makes us different from the animal population. If we don't do that, then we're probably not human. We'd just be like sheep just moving along. Oh, Illuminati, so happy to see you. We're happy to see you too. Varun, Jai Shri Ram. Okay, I'm just looking through. Yes. Then I've got as well. Okay, Krishna Bhakt 108. This sansar is dukhalaya. Dukha ka ghar. Take Harinam and be happy. Haribol.
Now, we say that, right?
Yeah, let's go on
until it happens in our family. We're like, take Harinam and be blissful, just be sublime, chant your rounds, do your thing, you're fine, right? But what happens when it happens in our family? Then we're like, but I've been chanting all this time. Well, what's going to happen to me? Then we really have to dig deep. And we have to remember, we start thinking like, oh, well, why have you abandoned me? Just because some obstacle comes does not mean that Krishna, the divine, has abandoned you. What if it means that this is the time when he carries you, right? That age-old story. There's a person, they get to the pearly white gates of heaven. There's a beach, right? And they're standing there with God, and they're saying, look at all these footprints, right? You see two sets of footprints,
yes. And then one,
right? Yeah. And there's two sets of footprints. And the person says, oh, I can see now where you've been walking with me. But look, there's only one set of footprints. How could you have abandoned me, God? God says, those are not your footprints. Those are mine. That's where I carried you. So we think we get into this mindset of, I'm the controller, I am the manipulator, I am doing all of these things. These are my reactions and my actions. And so then when something intimate happens to us, when it becomes personal and it hits us deep in the heart, we start thinking, how could you have abandoned me? And we're like, you're not, the divine's like, you're not even walking right now. I'm carrying you through this entire situation, holding you in my embrace. I read one definition of surrender. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj says surrender means to constantly fall back into the loving embrace of God. And I couldn't help but think of those trust exercises,
Yes.
The person stands behind you, they got their arms out, and you got to like trust them, fall back. This is surrender constantly, though, not just one time, not every day, every hour, every moment, thinking, okay, I'm going to fall back into the loving embrace of God and trust that He's going to catch me.
That is surrender,
Right?
okay? It's like that meditation of knowing, to really feel, okay, this way you're saying that the divine has got your back. Whatever happens,
Yeah.
the divine has got your back. Just like behind you, Acyuta Gopi has Govinda just behind her. He's got her back, you know? So similarly, if we have that type of mindset, and again, it comes down to mindset. This is really important, everybody. Things are going to happen. Okay, before I go on, Abovala said, please repeat that. So what Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, can you repeat it?
He said,
Thank you, Abovala.
he said, surrender is to constantly fall back into the loving embrace of God.
There we go. Surrender is to constantly fall back into the loving embrace of God. These type of meditations really help us to connect. You know, these are not just, you know, when we say chant or do meditation, if we understand the meaning of them and then chant, it'll have more effect. And similarly here, just what Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said to give us that realization, coming from a realized soul, it helps us to connect even deeper. And this is why association is so key. I've just had Radhika Sukhu say, this is why I missed you all so much. Everything that you say makes so much sense and helps with all our unanswered questions. We need these sessions. Thank you so much. We that's why we're back. We want to be back and go through this. And I'm getting a lot of questions coming through. But
Yeah,
I promise I'll try and just, that's it. That's better. I've just brought it back up.
You know what's amazing about that meditation? He wrote that while he was dying of cancer.
There's the bombshell.
Yeah.
So he was in a situation where he was going through the biggest adversity that you can think of, in a way.
And it wasn't like a pretty cancer. He had multiple tumors everywhere. And the doctors were saying that it's got to be causing him unimaginable amounts of pain. But these were the realizations that he was penning down at that time.
That is just phenomenal. So this is coming from somebody, not because everything is going okay.
Yeah.
This is coming from a place where actually all the adversities that you don't want happening, when actually you will feel that the divine may not be with you, at that point, this faith, look how strong his faith is in the divine. Oh, you know, one thing was coming recently, and we're so lucky, and that we have saints around us all the time. In the Krishna conscious tradition as well, you know, we have amazing saints like Radhanath Maharaj, we have Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, all these people. And like recently, my spiritual guru, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he had, went through a massive COVID issue as like everybody else. But the difference here is he's got all the conditions in the world. He's had stroke.
Yeah.
He's a transplant patient. He's got two transplants, you know, so he's on, I think it's immunosuppressant medication. He's had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. He's diabetic. You know, he's a big guy because, you know, he's 6'4". He's quite tall. So he's half his body is paralyzed. The list goes on and on. He's actually had cancer, aspects as well. So all this, and COVID hits, and he's been now sheltering for about 9 months, shielding, and you know, the people around him taking care. And we're like, oh my God. We were just all like breaking down, because it's like we're hearing people not going through this, and they might have just one thing. They might be just overweight.
They
Whatever.
might have nothing.
Might have
Sometimes they have
nothing.
nothing.
And here you've got a situation where all these things, and you're like, it's just like, how is this going to happen? But what was he doing? We would think, okay, please take it easy, Gurmaraj. We're saying hopefully, but no, he's online. He's talking to everyone every single day.
He's a general.
And somehow through his that thing, what you're saying, that God's got your back.
Yeah.
And he was just carrying on. He wasn't. So all of us around is like, oh my God. Others might be getting COVID, but he was just still carrying on, focusing, being so compassionate and just doing his thing. And fortunately, he's got to the other side of it. Thank God. But it makes you think that actually the faith in the divine is so important now, more than ever before in our whole entire existence. That's how I'm feeling right now. And I think this is a time where people really need to start to understand that this world is temporary. This world, anything around us can be taken from us, our jobs, our lives, our family.
And what I like about Jayapataka Maharaj is he puts his full faith in Krishna, right? Every step he's going to do his service. He's so dedicated to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and movement and Srila Prabhupada's movement and mission. But he doesn't just say, I put my faith in Krishna, so I forget about the rest. He was on every medical regimen. He was making sure that he was taking all of the medicines. He was making sure that he was in line with doctors. And so I really appreciate that, because sometimes as spiritually minded people, we can tend to say, oh, because I put my faith in Krishna, I don't do that worldly medicine. He's like, Krishna gave me good sense, and so I'm going to cover all my bases. And I so much appreciate that about him, that he has struck a balance, just because he is a spiritually minded person, he does not forget the benefits that some material aspects can give to our spiritual lives. He's really about including everything in his service and using it in the service of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
This is what gives me faith, actually, when I see gurus who, like, I myself feel that I may not see Krishna in my life, but I know that by seeing the example set by these amazing gurus like Radhanath Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, we're talking about Bhakti Charu Maharaj, that this process works because you see it. Otherwise they would, how can they be so detached to the world but still be part of it? It's because they know something, they've seen something that we haven't yet experienced. Well, I haven't, and that's one thing I was just seeing, that we're so fortunate that way, that we have these type of amazing souls on the planet. Why don't we take more and more advantage of it?
Right.
Take for granted sometimes,
especially now, everything is online. There's amazing resources to be able to listen anywhere, anytime. So amazing resources. There's a chance to be on a yatra at any moment now, and you don't even have to pay to go.
That's so true. Yeah.
Transported. And we've had to really build an internal spiritual world. And I think that this has been the blessing, actually, of the world pandemic. Have we been able to build the spiritual dam within our heart?
Nice. So, and the nicest thing, like you just mentioned, that now we don't have to like pay a dime or go somewhere by like Vraj Mandal Parikram. For me, I've never been on Vraj Mandal Parikram, and that's organized by His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj and his amazing team. And this, like, if anybody hasn't seen it, there's Padiyatra, there's Kirtan Ministry, connect there, and you can check out Vraj Mandal Parikram. These are really holy, sacred places. And it's not like, okay, I'm going 3 hours away and finding everything. This is like 30 days of going around and actually absorbing. And you can do it from the, goodness of your home. But the way they shot it, they had one person to a few people going around the drones they used, and like you're in first person. You get those type of games where you're first person. It's like you're right there, and then you meet the Babaji, or you meet the actual person, the priest that's looking after that place, and they start speaking like, it might be raining outside because I'm in the UK, but it felt so. Everyone, I think what I'll do is I'll try and send out some links. Check it out. Like, thank you for reminding Acyuta Gopi. We had Rajpanda Parikram, Mayapur Parikram. So Parikram meaning we're taking a journey. We're trying to go deeper in into our hearts. We're making that journey of self-realization that only happens when we connect to, let's say, these type of holy places. So yeah, anything on that? Like you must have seen a few, and what's your thoughts about the parikrams and things?
Well, what's amazing is during Kartik, I feel like I got to like participate in some and that was never possible before. I was never able to just up and leave and go and be wherever I needed to be, but now I was able to be in this group of assembly of devotees, and then in this group of assembly of devotees, and then they're saying, okay, can you speak something over here? And so I was like, okay. And I had to give a lecture, and I was thinking what to speak on. There's so many parikram places. And then I said, you know what, let's do a parikram of unique pastime places. And so we went to places that you can normally never go. Underneath the cart where Krishna kicks the cart demon. Like we get to visit inside the jail within Mathura where Krishna is born. But it's all because this is within the heart. We get to read these pastimes, tell these pastimes, meditate on these pastimes in these places, and then we're there. Yeah. This is the magic of spiritual energy and spiritual atmosphere, which sometimes, even if we go physically to the holy place, we miss it because our mind and our heart we're not linked up there, But now, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, if we can really drop in, really call out with the heart, doesn't matter. We've made the progress.
This is a thing as well about spiritual life, that it doesn't matter the medium that we connect. Like, for example, here, we might be using a screen. We may be there in person. Of course, our own mindset is what distinguishes it. But, when something is spiritual or actually it has that potency, it can come through even the screen, So, and that's why I felt sometimes like I'm feeling very fortunate to be speaking to some Prabhupada disciples for Prabhupada memoirs. We did a session. And I think it was Pankaj Prabhu and Janivas Prabhu in Mayapur Dham. I'm just checking. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, you can. Oh, okay. Yep. And I was just on the screen talking to him like I'm talking to you. And what was amazing is I actually felt transported to that place with them right there, even though I'm just on this 14-inch screen of mine, my MacBook or whatever it is, looking on the camera right now. But I actually felt transported. I was like, wow, this was, because that's the thing, the power of spirituality, the medium can transcend through this type of technology. I don't, that's what I've not felt that type of, apart from traveling on the plane and going away, I've really felt more connected with people through here.
Same. And I feel like I've used my time better. I feel like when I take the time out to really connect in on a live or on a session, I've really taken out the time to think, okay, I'm setting this time aside, and I'm just going to focus here. I'm going to let my heart be here. And the times when I would usually have a lull in my schedule, like winter is kind of a dead season, there's not that many festivals going on. Right. But now, because everything is online and there are so many more opportunities for festivals, I feel like my year is more full than it would have been.
That is true. That is like, and you know what? You don't have to travel, so it's good. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm just yeah, I can.
I'm
I'm
good.
just checking. I think there's been just a little lag. But you know, when we're doing events, we do it online. You know what's great? It's like we don't have to think about a few things. Getting there, you know, there's not going to be any problem because hey, it's just going into another room, or you just can carry your device wherever you are. Secondly, when you're hosting something online, you don't have to worry about food or cooking something or making because it's like, you know, yeah, okay, there's no type of, and what's best because it makes us then focus directly on the subject at hand. We don't have to worry about anything else. We're just getting the association. Sadhu Sangha, everybody, you know, is so important that we get, especially in this time, connecting with saintly people, but connecting with people that help us to elevate our consciousness is so, so, so needed. Otherwise, what is feeding our brains is the news, politics, all this type of stuff. So read, I'm talking to myself, read, listen, to, you know, to saintly beings. And if anybody wants to know where they can connect with some saintly people online, and remember, we're online, you don't have to travel anywhere. Connect with Acyuta Gopi on her page, or connect with myself, Jagannath Dasa, and we will send you some amazing links to who you should try to and have a listen. It'll be really good. And I'm just looking through the messages, Chuta, and we got thanks for that. The obstacles could be when Krishna carries us. You know, you was talking about
Mm-hmm.
the footsteps. I have experienced this in these few months. My mother had some serious health challenges, but always divinely guided. Thank you, Geeta Kushal, for sharing that. And Maharaj never stopped his preaching during COVID too. He is personally empowered by Radharani. Sonam, that's very kind. Wounded Soldier by Srila Prabhupada. Wow. And we pray daily for Guru Maharaj. Okay, Radhika, thank you so much, everybody. I'm just going through some of the messages here. Okay, this is nice. Mitru Jaya Dasa, if I'm correct, please tell me if I said it wrong. It's Mitrun. Okay. Service in the mind is same with the service with the body for Krishna. What does that mean to you?
Wait, let's see. Can you repeat that again? It cut out
So
just.
it said service in the mind is same with the service with the body for Krishna. I'm trying to understand that point. If you can. Did you hear me okay? I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Check. Yeah,
So I mean, there's a really, really simple story that kind of illustrates this, right? Once upon a time, there was a Brahmin, and he was really, really poor. He didn't have a lot, and he had a deity that he wanted to do service for, but he didn't have a lot of money. He was hearing a spiritual discourse, and in that spiritual discourse, in that lecture, the lecturer was saying, you can do service for the divine in the mind. And in the mind, there are no limitations on what you can offer. All the wealth is there. All the facility is there. All the things that you might think you don't have, all of that is there. And this Brahmin heard this. He was so inspired. He started doing daily meditations of what he'd like to offer to his Lord. His beloved deity, he would offer him all kinds of wonderful foods and different wealth and gold and jewels. And in his mind, he was offering the best of all that he had. One day, he wanted to offer sweet rice, which is a milk preparation, right? So you cook the milk down on the stove, you add the rice in, you add the sugar, you add a little ghee, you add some spices, a little bit, and you mix it all and you cook it down until it's nice and sweet and thick, and then you turn it off, right? But before he wanted to offer it, he wanted to make sure that it wouldn't be too hot for the deity to drink. Because this is the love that we have for the divine. That we think, oh, but what I'm offering, I don't want him to burn himself. Right? We love the divine so much, we just now think he's just my person. So he tested some, put his finger in the sweet rice, and he pulled it back. It was so hot. And immediately he looked in his finger. He said, oh, and that brought him out of his meditation. This was all happening in his mind. But the hotness of that sweet rice brought him out of his meditation. He opened his eyes. He's still in his hut, which is bare. No sweet rice, no fire, no milk, no rice, no nothing. But he looks down at his finger, and his finger is red and blistered.
Oh, wow.
Because that service, that absorption in the mind and the heart, that sincerity, that intention brings about the spiritual nature that is needed, all the love that is needed to give power to our service.
That's the power of the mind. Actually, that's the power of
That's
this
power
is
of prayer.
prayer, power of prayer. I was like, this is why we call it the power of prayer. And Jagannath, what are you doing? It's so. This is everybody. Don't underestimate the power of prayer. There's so many pastimes of how prayer has helped us. Like even myself, I'm reflecting here, Acyuta Gopi. I'm just reflecting, and I'm just feeling like, actually, in my life, have I done enough prayer? Have I actually done enough prayer? Because sometimes we have this thing, like, you mentioned, like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said that, you just have to feel like fall back, and that the divine will have you, it got your back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes I feel like, no, just in case, just like Draupadi had, just in case, I'll have some soft cushion behind me in case I fall and he doesn't catch me. And like, sometimes in prayer, it can feel that, okay, I'll try myself. I don't know. Because sometimes you're feeling like, will the divine listen to that prayer? Maybe it's my heart that's not in the right mindset, or my intentions are not right. So I think, okay, you know what? I won't ask. I'll try it myself. I'll try and do it. Then we start to think, okay, we can do it. And when it doesn't happen, but we still then blame the divine.
Right? We sure do. And I want to,
yeah.
it's so beautiful. I want to see if I can find it.
Oh, this is drum rolls coming on. I should have some sound effects, it just reminds me. And anybody, while we're waiting for that, I want to just let you know that please do try to connect if you can, and also share. Power of prayer is so important, and actually having the support here, we just want to say thank you. It's been so long since we've been together and speaking to you, and we're here. So I'm really blown away by the support we're getting online right now. So thank you for being here. Oh, we've got a nice one from Dina Nakampa, Devi Dasi. She's writing, what about devotees who decorated the route in his mind that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take to Vrindavan? Wow. Okay, now we're going deep. So I think we need to come back to that as well. But let's you were finding something. I'm looking forward to this.
There's a meditation. This is also, again, from Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Unless one is truly selfless and humble, one will not value others sufficiently and will therefore mainly act for his or her own so-called welfare. Where there is proper selflessness and humility, a devotee will eagerly become the servant of others. A selfless, humble devotee is so brave that if necessary, he or she will stand alone to defend truth and integrity, despite being in the minority. The brave devotee is determined to represent the acharyas with his or her best offerings to them. A brave devotee is the finest spiritual warrior because he fights on the subtle battlefield of consciousness with weapons of compassion, truth, and love.
Wow.
It is obvious that I will die soon. And when I look at my present status, I realize I am lacking in 3 of the most important Vaishnav qualities. I am not sufficiently humble, selfless, or brave. And there is hardly sufficient time to transform my character. So here's the thing. Have we done enough, right? Here's the question. I have already wasted so many years by being ungrateful and lamenting. My obstacles are very clear to me now. I must become truly selfless, humble, and brave. But even knowing what I must develop and work on doesn't diminish the task, for my false ego also knows this, and it has designed many means to destroy my attempts. How will I be able to fully help myself surrender when I am my own greatest enemy? Can I repeat that?
Yeah, the last part, missed that. The last part.
So he says, but even knowing what I must develop and work on doesn't diminish the task, for my false ego also knows this, and it has designed many means to destroy my attempts. How will I be able to fully help myself surrender when I am my own greatest enemy? This is all our fears. I have only a little time left to become selfless, humble, and brave. But my false ego laughs and accuses. It's already too late, you failure. Just look at how many times you've tried and failed before. This last line of this meditation is my favorite part. But maybe it is not too late. Perhaps, my beloved, you can help me this time.
That's deep. So deep. This is what it's. But this is really surrendering, because we try to think of ourselves. Yeah, we can do it. But even our own self is fighting with ourselves here, isn't it? It's like, okay, you know what? I can. I'm just giving a very mundane example. You know, I can get that $100,000 job, and then there's a side of us saying, no, you can't do it. It's ourselves fighting with ourselves. But actually, the thing is here is when we take ourselves out of the equation, and then put the divine in the center and put it for that way and focus that from there, then it will happen. And I love that points there. So thank you so much on this.
And I mean, you know, just to summarize, it's like, have we prayed enough? Maybe not. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe Krishna was always accepting, always willing to carry what we lack and preserve what we have. Maybe the point is never for us to think that we have been doing this alone. The point is always to say, on my own, I'll never do enough. But now, oh my Lord, my beloved, my friend, maybe you can help me this time.
One sec. You know, when you're giving the jewels, it's like that's it. Boom, 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 boom. And now, you know, when those cliffhangers come, and the internet's like, oh no, this is now getting a bit. Oh no, but that last part we missed, and I was attentively trying to hear it. Please, please, please.
I was saying that maybe the point is that we were never doing it alone. On my own, I can never pray enough. But maybe that's the point. The point is that Krishna will always carry what I lack and preserve what I have. So, my friend, my love, my beloved Lord, my friend, maybe you can help me this time.
That's it. Relying on the Lord. He's got your back. He's got your back. We started, remember that point. I'm just going to check a few. Okay, Isha saying, really beautiful meditation. Thank you. Govind Das says, thank you for this wonderful session. Thank you for being here. Chirag the Lamp says, Radhe Radhe. And then Letitia Lilesbury says, if we only realize that we also don't have any time to waste, right here, right now, that's when we surrender. Not later, but now, dependent on his mercy. Yeah, so yeah, that well, I won't do it later. Like my gran used to always say, why are you doing all this meditation? You go out, enjoy yourself. Don't do it now. Do it when you're like crinkly and old and have nothing to do in life. And then, oh yeah, I'll pick up these beads. And it's actually we cannot think ahead. We need to now start this process. We don't know when this COVID might take people, or life will just take us. We don't know. So please do. And actually, I was just looking at Dean and Akampa's message again. When you were talking about the mind, and like that hot milk was so hot and it actually burnt them. And she's saying, what about a devotee who decorated the route in his mind that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take to Vrindavan, decorating that route? It's like, what type of impact would that have? Well, how would that be? And just for anybody online that may not know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vrindavan, do you mind just Acyuta Gopi just giving that so they know what I mean by that and how substantial this would be, having this meditation?
Yeah. So we have Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, just surrender unto me, I'll fix everything else for you. Then, Krishna understands and realizes, now I said everybody should surrender, but I didn't tell them how to surrender. So that he knows we're going to have a problem, right? Yeah, that's my brother talking about my mom.
Is that your brother, by the way?
My brother, Ahobala.
Hey, good to see you. He's giving some gems. I had to put him up.
So he says, they're not going to know how to surrender. I'll come and teach them how to surrender. So now he appears in the form of his very own devotee, now coming to say, this is how we surrender to the divine. This is how we love the divine. Did it break again? Oh.
It's robot style going on. I wonder if it's mine. I'm just checking. Just bear with me, everybody. We're going around. We'll be back. And you know what? Actually, even time-wise, God, time's just gone so quick. We've got like less than 10 minutes left. Let me just try and see if I can get Acyuta Gopi back on Instagram place. So yes, Acyuta Gopi left. She's coming back on. I'm trying to get her back on. It's lovely when it happens live. It's like no pressure. Let me just try this. We're just going. Oh, I've just started a live. I'm just trying to find. Yes, there you are. Let's try this again. Okay, everybody. It's been such a nice session so far. We should be getting go into Krishna Center request. Yes, you did. I did put it. Go live. Let's go live. It's happening. Let's try. It's connecting. There we go. Finally, we're here. So yes, we got taken back there. I was just wondering, like, we got 10 minutes left.
Yeah,
10 minutes. Know, right? Oh my God. Yeah, there's one person that asked a question. I have to, like you get requests. One person asked for Baja Huremana, I think it was, and Kirtans, and I think people was like, I think they joined, they're like, okay, Jagannath, when are we going to get Kirtans from Acyuta Gopi? Right. When's it happening? Would this be something Acyuta Gopi, and what we'll have to do, we'll be carrying on with a power of prayer. I think we're back. It feels so nice to be connecting up again and talking about this. So what do you think? What should we do? It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, we will definitely we can do some kirtan. We can continue. Basically, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself coming to explain coming to explain how to surrender. The thing that I love about this this pastime of decorating the Lord's pathway to Vrindavan. So he came, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Navadvip, in Bengal, and Mayapur. Vrindavan was quite a ways away. And he makes his way finally back to Vrindavan, and everyone, everything, every tree, rock, the river itself, all the animals welcome him back. Krishna, our Krishna has returned. This is like thousands of years after Krishna has left, right? Our Krishna has finally returned. So, but what I love about this is decorating the way in your mind, you can actually have the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It says that whenever and wherever the Lord appears, whether it be in a dream, okay, in the mind, in the picture, in a deity form, he is always present, fully complete, and potent. So if you've had a dream with Krishna, it is not just a dream. You've actually had that association.
Yeah, that's amazing. So this is the thing. The mind is so powerful. So just think about the divine, or think about serving, even like giving something, like feeding the divine, or something in your heart. Maybe the really nice, laddus that you make, or something you make. Think of it in your mind, adding all those lovely, items, foodstuffs, and then offer it. So if we have that type of mindset and we work in that type of way, then the divine will not be far away. That's what we're trying to do, is to try to attract them into our hearts. Thank you so much. And I'm just saying, Acyuta Gopi has kirtans posted on a YouTube channel, and you can hear them over and over again. Please tune in. Yes, you're right. Guess who that's from? Yes, you got it. It's great. And also, just before you start kirtans, I want to also say about Prema Mala, the book. It's still there. I think you can get in different ways. Is it physically still available, or is you get it electronically now? Oh, there it is.
Still physically available.
It's still there. It's not, and if anybody wants a copy, go to www.mybook.to/Prema, Prema. Check it out. And of course, connect with Acyuta Gopi at lowercase Gopi. Just put Acyuta Gopi. It'll come up with her name.
Right.
You'll see her.
It's
And
long,
YouTube, you heard from it. Just go Acyuta space Gopi, and you can get it. And if you like to connect with me, for those on FB, you can see when I'm pointing here is Jagannath Dasa. So just on YouTube and on Instagram. Instagram is the place. Please do join us. And please, can we have some kirtan? That'd be so lovely.
Sure, let's do
Hare
it.
Krishna.
Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Bajahure Mana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare Bajahure Mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Abhaya Charanaravidare Shri Nandanandana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanaravidare Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Tara Hoye Baba Sindare Abhaya Charanaravidare Shri Nandanandana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanaravidare. Oh, my mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly people. Shri Nandanandana, Shri Nandanandana, Abhaya Charanaravidare Bhajamana Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Govinda Bala Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Govinda Bala Jai Radhe Jai Govinda Bala Jai Radhe Bhajamana Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Bhajamana Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Radhe Govinda.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining today. We've had, oh Mataji, your voice is so amazing. The deep expression on your face, Jai. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for resuming these talks. This is our life air. Oh, that's so kind of you, Sonam. No, and really thank you for everyone joining. We're going to try our best with the blessings of all of you that we do as regularly as we can. And, you know, it's been great. So until next time, stay tuned. And if there's any type of questions you have, or you want certain topics on prayer that you want us to cover, just message Acyuta Gopi or message myself, and we'll try and make that happen. And until next time, Hare Krishna, stay safe, stay well, and speak soon.